All right, so if you've ever tried to learn a new language, you know this feeling, right? You start out, you're all excited, you're dedicated, and then bam, the frustration hits. It feels like nothing's sticking. Well, let's dive into that exact problem. And a solution that's actually, believe it or not, super simple. You know the drill. You spend hours and hours just drilling vocabulary. You've got your stacks of flashcards, maybe they're on an app, maybe they're on paper, and you go over them again and again and again, just trying to force those new words to stay in your brain. And it's not just the words. You hit the textbooks hard. You're memorizing all those conjugation tables. You're trying to wrap your head around verb tenses and weird sentence structures. You do all the exercises, you fill in every single blank. You're doing everything you're supposed to. But then what happens? A week goes by, and it's like you're trying to hold water in your hands. It just slips right through. Those words you learned are kind of fuzzy, the grammar feels all jumbled up, and just trying to say a simple sentence feels like climbing a mountain. So what gives? Why does all that hard work seem to just disappear into thin air? Well, here's an idea. What if the key wasn't about studying harder, but about studying, well, smarter? What if one of the most powerful tools for fluency was already a part of your everyday life, just hiding in plain sight? So let's talk about something called the daily schedule method. And honestly, it is exactly what it sounds like. You just write down your daily routine from the moment you wake up to when you go to sleep, but you do it in the language you're learning. That's it. Simple, right? But the real magic is why this little exercise works so incredibly well. See, the genius here isn't that the task is complicated. It's the exact opposite. Its power comes from how it taps directly into the way our brains are wired to learn and form strong, lasting memories. It's all about connecting new information to something you already know inside and out, the story of your own day. Okay, first things first, let's talk vocabulary. We've all been there with the endless flashcards, but this method, this is a totally different ballgame and way more effective. I mean, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? How on earth can just describing your breakfast be better for remembering the word apple than, drilling the word apple 100 times? Well, it all comes down to one powerful little word, context. And this really gets to the heart of it. Let's look at the difference here. Rote learning, that's totally passive. You're just staring at a word, right? It's completely disconnected from, well, anything. But writing your schedule, that's active recall. You actually have to dig into your brain and pull out the word for apple to talk about your breakfast. You're hooking it directly to something real, something you actually did. And this is the absolute key. Suddenly, the word apple isn't just some abstract idea. It's now part of your story. It's the apple you had at 8 a.m. with your coffee. By wrapping that word in a rich, personal story, your brain creates a much, much stronger memory. You're not just remembering a word, you're remembering a moment in your life. Okay, so that's vocabulary. But what about the other big monster, grammar? For so many of us, this is the most intimidating part of learning a new language. But it really, really doesn't have to be. The first step is to just change how we think about grammar. It's not some dusty old set of rules you have to memorize for a test. Think of it like a blueprint. It's the structure that lets us build ideas, tell stories, and actually communicate with other people. It's a practical tool. And when you write out your daily schedule, you're using that blueprint without even thinking about it. You start with a time, you add the subject, I, then you add the action, the verb, the object. You're not stressing about subject-verb agreement in some abstract way. You're just describing what you did. You are naturally, organically building a story. And this is a massive shift in mindset. You stop being a passive student who just studies grammar rules, and you become an active creator. You're using those rules to build a description of your own reality in a brand new language. And that is, without a doubt, the best grammar practice you can possibly get. So when you put it all together, what do you got? You have the single most effective, most personalized, and, let's be honest, cheapest textbook you could ever ask for. Your own life. So let's just recap why this is such a game changer. Number one, active recall. You are training your brain to retrieve information when you need it, not just recognize it on a page. Number two, personal context. Everything you write is about you, so it's instantly relevant and memorable. And number three, consistent practice. By making this a daily habit, you're turning your normal routine into a daily language lesson, reinforcing everything you've learned. At the end of the day, this whole method just proves a really fundamental truth about how we learn. Information sticks best, not when it's abstract and disconnected, but when we can actually weave it into the fabric of our own lives, our own experiences. So really, there's only one question left.
and it's one you have to answer for yourself. So grab a notebook, open up a new document, and just start with this morning. What does your day look like? What story are you going to tell?